Hello. Hello. It's Amanda, and I just wanted to get back to the BFG because it's been a while. That's why I always say, hey, you guys should really message me and be like, get on that. Anyways, so the BFG, Roald Dahl, back to it. And we're on the chapter about the giants. The giants. But if you are so nice and friendly, Sophie said, then why did you snatch me from my bed and run away with me? Because you saw me, the big friendly giant answered. If anyone is ever seeing a giant, he or she must be taken away. Hip switch. Why? asked Sophie. Well, first of all, said the BFG, human beings is not really believing in giants, is they? Human beings is not thinking we exist. I do, Sophie said. Ah, but that is only because you have seen me, cried the BFG. I cannot possibly allow anyone, even little girls, to be seeing me and staying at home. The first thing you would be doing, you would be scuttling around, yodeling the news that you were actually seeing a giant. And then a great giant hunt, a mighty giant look-see, would be starting up all over the world, with human beings all rummaging for the great giant you saw and getting wildly excited. People would be coming rushing and bushing after me with goodness knows what, and they would be catching me and locking me into a cage to be stared at. They would be putting me into the zoo or the bunkum house with all those squiggling hippo dumplings and crocodile down-dillies. Sophie knew that what the giant said was true. If any person reported actually having seen a giant haunting the streets of a town at night, there would most certainly be a terrific hullabaloo across the world. I will bet you, the BFG went on, that you would have been splashing the news all over the wonky world, wouldn't you, if I hadn't wiggled you away? I suppose I would, Sophie said. And that would never do, said the BFG. So, what will happen to me now? Sophie asked. If you do go back, you will be telling the world, said the BFG. Most likely on the telly bunkum box and the radio squeaker. So you will have to be staying here with me for the rest of your life. Oh no! cried Sophie. Oh yes, said the BFG. But I am warning you not ever to go whiffling about out of this cave without I is with you, or you will be coming to an ucky-mucky end. I is showing you now who is going to eat you up if there is ever catching even one tiny glimpse of you. The big friendly giant picked Sophie up off the table and carried her to the cave entrance. He strolled the huge stone to one side and said, Peep out over there, little girl, and tell me what you are seeing. Sophie, sitting on the BFG's hand, peeped out of the cave. The sun was up now and shining fiery hot over the great yellow wasteland with its blue rocks and dead trees. Is you seeing them? The BFG asked. Sophie, squinting through the glare of the sun, saw several tremendous tall figures moving among the rocks about 500 yards away. 3 or 4 others were sitting quite motionless on the rocks themselves. This is giant country, the BFG said. Those is all the giants, every one. Oh, picture. Forgot. It was a brain-boggling sight. The giants were all naked except for a sort of short skirt around their waists, and their skins were burnt brown by the sun, but it was the sheer size of each one of them that boggled Sophie's brain most of all. They were simply colossal, far taller and wider than the big friendly giant, upon whose hand she was now sitting. And oh, how ugly they are! Many of them had large bellies. All of them had long arms and feet. They were too far away for their faces to be seen sharply. Excuse me. And perhaps that was a good thing. Oh, by the way, you should be in your snuggy little spot and ready to, take your nap or be relaxing. Forgot about that. So, what on earth are they doing? asked Sophie. Nothing, said the BFG. They is just moochling and foochling around and waiting for the night to come. Then they will all be galloping off to places where people is living to find their suppers. You mean Turkey? Sophie had said. Bone-crunching giant will be galloping to Turkey, of course, said the BFG, but the others will be whiffling off to all sorts of flung-away places, from like Wellington for the booty flavour and Panama for the hatty flavour, the hatty taste. Every giant is having his own favourite hunting ground. Did they ever go to England? Sophie asked. Often. Often? Often, said the BFG. They say the English is tasting ever so wonderfully of crod scallop. I'm not sure I quite know what that means, Sophie said. Meaning is not important, said the BFG. I cannot be right all the time. Quite often I is left instead of right. And are all those beastly giants over there really going off again tonight to eat people? Sophie asked. All of them is guzzling human beings every night, the BFG answered. All of them excepting me. That is why you will be coming to an ucky-mucky end if any of them should ever be getting his gogglers upon you. You would be swallowed up like a piece of pumpkin pie, all in our dollop. But eating people is horrible, Sophie cried. It's frightful. Why doesn't someone stop them? And who please is going to be stopping them? Asked the BFG. Couldn't you? Said Sophie. Never in a pig's whistle, cried the BFG. All of those man-eating giants is enormous and fiery, very fierce. They is all at least 2 times my wideness and double my royal highness. Sorry, I was showing a picture. Twice as high as you? Cried Sophie. Easily this, said the BFG. You are seeing them in the distance, but just wait till you get them close up. Those giants is all at least 50 feet tall, with huge muscles and cockles alive-o. I is the titchy one. I is the runt. Different accent. 24 feet is puddle nuts in giant country. You mustn't feel bad about it, Sophie said. I think you are just great. Why, even your toes must be as big as sausages. Bigger, said the BFG, looking pleased. They is as big as bumple hammers. How many giants are there out there? Sophie asked. 9 altogether, answered the BFG. That means, said Sophie, that somewhere in the world, every single night, 9 wretched people get carried away and eaten alive? More, said the BFG. It is all depending, you see, on how big that human being is. Japanese beings is very small, so a giant will need to gobble up about 6 Japanese before he is filling full up. Others, like the Norways and the Yankee Doodles, is ever so much bigger, and usually 2 or 3 of those makes a good tuck-in. But do these disgusting giants go to every single country in the world? Sophie asked. All countries excepting Greece is getting visited some time or another, the BFG answered. The country which a giant visits is depending on how he is feeling. If it is very warm weather and a giant is feeling as hot as a sizzle pan, he will probably go galloping off up to Frisbee North to get himself an Eskimo or 2 to cool him down. A nice fat Eskimo to a giant is like a lovely ice cream lolly to you. I'll take your word for that, Sophie said. And then again, if it is a frosty night and the giant is frigid with cold, he will probably point his nose towards the sweltering hotlands to guzzle up a few Hottentots to warm him up. How perfectly terrible, Sophie said. Nothing hots a cold giant like a little Hottentot, the BFG said. And if you were to put me down on the ground and I was to walk out amongst them, now, would they really eat me up? Like a whiv-swiddle, cried the BFG. And what is more, you is so small they wouldn't even have to chew you. The first one to be seeing you would pick you up in his fingers, and down you'd go like a drop of water. Let's go back inside, Sophie said. I hate even watching them. Marvelous Ears. Page 38. Ooh, let's see how much further. It's not too much, but I'm kind of getting tired. Obviously, because I'm yawning so many times. So, excuse me. I'll catch you up later. Thank you for watching. Bye.